Hey, it's Carmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. Thank you for joining this week's discussion. I empower you to understand why you're here and how to live on purpose and in divine harmony. I interweave numerology, angel guides, astrology, theta healing, and coaching to guide you along your spiritual journey. Every week we have a discussion, and this week's discussion is how taking responsibility creates a life you love. We have a lot to cover tonight. For those of you who are joining the discussion live on YouTube, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to drop a comment or a question, and we'll get those answered as we go along. For those of you who are listening to the audio on the podcast, feel free to join us at any time, Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. All right, so are you grieving over 2020? I hear that some people are grieving over 2020 and they're ready to get back to normal. Nothing is going back to normal. By the way, nothing is going back to normal because that normal was not working for us as a collective. And once you understand what was not working and why it was not working, that'll help you navigate these new times with a different perspective. Now, my intention tonight during this discussion is to help you with that, to navigate these times. Today is April 26th, and today and tomorrow is a full moon in Scorpio. And it's a time of looking at our shadow side as the ego comes up for us to heal and allows us to let go, allows us to release it. Release any, anger or resentments that we have, whether it's to ourselves, to others, to an event or event situations such as 2020. It's time to create what does work and what we want. Remember, this entire year, this entire 2021 year is about control versus expansion. What does that mean? Well, Saturn and Jupiter are both in Aquarius. Saturn is about fear, government, rules, and on the positive side, the focus of it is commitment, discipline, and integrity. Jupiter is expansion. It's expansion and faith, adventure, and joy. Now, on the negative side, you'll experience some overindulgence, arrogance, and risk. Saturn also is clashing with Uranus this year, and Uranus is about disruption. Remember that word, disruption. That's one of the reasons you hear people say this year is about disclosure. Truth will be revealed this year. And when you choose to take personal responsibility, how you respond to these truths will reveal where you are and what energy you're vibrating at. Third dimension or fifth dimension. And if you're not familiar with third dimension, fifth dimension, third dimension is definitely us versus them. I blame you. You did this to me. Fear-based energy. It's divisive energy. Any of this sound familiar? 5D energy is oneness, love, unification. Life is happening on my behalf. I can co-create and see all the possibilities. Do you see how the energies of Saturn and the energies of Jupiter are similar to a third dimension or fifth dimensional perspective? The question is, what will you focus on? As these truths are being revealed this year, will you focus on unification or are you going to focus on division? Because there's so much division right now. I don't know if anybody living has ever seen this much division. Maybe not too many people who are currently living who's experienced this much division. The same thing when we ask other people, are you getting the jab? The V. First, why do we feel the need to ask somebody this question about their health? I don't recall asking too many people about their health unless it's a close friend or family member and they've brought it up in a conversation. And then when you hear an answer you maybe didn't expect because we have expectations that everybody's getting this, ask yourself why. Notice how you respond. Are you triggered? And if so, ask yourself why. Why am I triggered? Why am I triggered that you won't get this thing that I think that you should have? Notice the words I'm using. That's a very third dimensional vibration. When we all take personal responsibility, there's no need for this question. Frankly, there's no need for this question at all. And we're also, keep in mind, we're all not vibrating at the same energy levels yet either. There are some people who don't even realize that they're in this, that they're living and that they're in this third dimensional energy. They don't realize that they are living in a victimhood. And they're so used to it. They're just so used to giving over control to other people. They don't even realize that they're doing it. It's like an autopilot. They don't even see or realize the possibilities. I know because I used to live there. That's how I can talk about these things. Do I sometimes get down there? Yeah. And I don't stay there because I now can experience the two. We have done what we've been told by the government instead of thinking for ourselves and taking responsibility. We're so used to doing what we're told, giving away our power. And when we give away our power, that's our choice. We're literally just handing it over saying, here you go. I didn't need this. No, thank you. And as we start to take responsibility, we take back our power of choice. And for those of you who've been listening or following me for a while, you've heard me say time and time again, the first key is awareness. Always. Because what happens is that awareness brings it to our conscious mind that's been running on autopilot in the subconscious for so long. Now it's in the conscious, and you're like, oh, wait, I don't want to do this anymore. That's my intention with today's discussion, to bring something different to your awareness. Now, during 2020, did you write out what you'd like your life to look like after quarantine? I did. I knew that life was never going to be the same, and I understood that this was all crumbling for a reason. And now's the time, if you wrote anything down, to get that back out. Get that list out and see if it's what you're truly creating. And ask yourself, are you going to go back to your old life of just busy, 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 and a packed calendar? Or are you going to go back to this new life that you get to create? It gets to be different. Ask yourself, what wasn't working prior to quarantine in your life? Just your life. Maybe for you and your family. And what do you want that to look like now? I heard a friend say the other day that she wasn't used to everything being so busy. And that's what prompted me for tonight's discussion is we get to take responsibility for our calendars, for what we say yes to, for where we put our energy. And that energy includes who we spend time with, who we share space with, what we consume, food, magazines, TV, news, everything else, music. And if you didn't create a list, that's okay. Go ahead and do that right now. When I got mine back out, I was like, whoa, there's some things on here I totally forgot I wrote down. So guess what? Not only did I start a new calendar starting in April of 2021, meaning I shifted on my calendar my day-to-day tasks, and I realized that I was still trying to cram in too much stuff, and I wasn't getting as much done as what I wanted. And I decided on a bunch of other factors that this week was going to be the week when I change all of that. We can only do 3 to 5 things a day, even if we think we're Wonder Woman, like I do sometimes. We can make magic happen, and we get to have time for ourselves as well. And that time we had during quarantine, it was forced upon us in quarantine. And guess what? Take back your power of choice to choose that time again for yourself. That's taking responsibility for yourself, your health, your life, your family, your self-care. You see, when we take personal responsibility, there is no division. Because when we're in ego or in the third dimensional energy, that's where the division is. There's blame, there's us versus them. Excuses will not continue to work like they used to. They just won't. All the excuses that we used to make before quarantine, they're not going to work now. Because we can't see it and the energies have shifted. That's one of the many reasons why we experience quarantine. There's this spiritual war that's been going on, and it was time to say, hey, get quiet, shut her down. It's time to do life a different way. You see, these excuses will catch up with you to where you have no choice other than to take responsibility. So choose it, because it makes it a whole lot easier. And after what we experienced in 2020, I'm happy people are wanting to focus on their passions. I keep seeing this everywhere, and I'm like, finally, I've been talking about this for years. What are you passionate about? Not what do you do for a living? What really lights your soul on fire? It's time to stop playing safe and doing what others wanted us to do, doing what society told us that we had to do. That's taking responsibility. Do what you love, and you will receive the rewards. When you're in a job or career that you don't like, it doesn't light you up, you have the Sunday, the whatever you call it, Monday, Sundays, scary Sundays, whatever they're called. You're essentially chasing money instead of creating abundance in your life. Because you think that you need to wake up Monday morning and go to a job, which is essentially a vehicle to receive money, of doing something that you hate or that's not in alignment with you, not in alignment with your beliefs, not in alignment with your energy field. And it's scary. It really, really is. And it doesn't have to be. That's the 3D, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And what if this doesn't work out? That's the third dimensional energies. Like that's where the ego and mind come into play, and it starts to talk you out of your passions. God gave you gifts for a reason. What you want wants you. The passions that you have those for a reason. Get back to what you love. I've seen so many events right now that are happening. It makes my heart happy. Finally, we've realized that being in quarantine, there is more to life, because guess what there is? There's so many great things that have come out of quarantine. It's a matter of looking at them and saying thank you. Thank you for bringing this to my awareness. Thank you for showing me that I do have passions, or that I forgot about this thing that did light my fire, and maybe I can, maybe change the world and help other people doing it. That's what it's all about. And then you truly are co-creating your life. You are living intentionally. You were given a purpose. You were here on purpose and for purpose. Hands down. And a lot of people that work with me say, well, my purpose is to help others. And I say yes, and because I call BS. That's not a strong enough why. The why is your fire in your belly that gets you up every day and gets you going. And no matter what brick wall you may hit, that why keeps you going throughout the day. It's deeper than to help other people. You are the hands and the feet and the eyes and the ears and the of God. Here, you are what I call boots on the ground to make a difference. And we need you now more than ever. So is this about creating a life you love? Yeah. Is this about feeling alive? Yeah, absolutely. Is this about experiencing freedom in your life? Yeah, it is. And first, you get to take personal responsibility for your life and what you want. And if you're one of those and you're ready to focus on your passions, maybe you're not even sure what they are, you forgot them. They're in there. They're down in there a little deep. Are you one of those you want to feel happy, experience freedom, listen up, learn how to tap into your intuition and your personal power to gain clarity and direction in your life and your career if you'd want? The next Live on Purpose course is designed to guide you through the process of rediscovering these passions, your gifts, and start to understand why you're here and how to live on purpose every single day. Now, you get a couple of choices. You can work with me privately at any time, or the next virtual group starts after May 5th. It's 8 weeks virtually. We meet via Zoom. You receive a journaling activity sheet. You'll also receive a private theta healing session and your private numerology session as well. We'll go over how to communicate with your angels, how to use pendulums, understand astrology, understand how everything around you is impacting you, and how you can use it to create a life that you love, the life that you want. There's only 3 spots left for this next one in May. I'm going to drop the link in the comments. Be sure to secure your spot. You can do either 4 payments of $161.75 or paid in full for $627. It does include coaching with myself. We'll go at least 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half every week, depending on how many people join us. And we get to decide when we meet every week. That's the beauty of it. We do have a private group that is our hub where we communicate. And I invite you to hear the testimonies of the past participants and how they've learned to create their life. If you have enjoyed this week's discussion, please be sure to join us every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the podcasts are now live on Amazon Music and Spotify. Take back your power with choice. Step into personal responsibility. I promise you, you will not regret it. Sending you all much love.